I couldn't help but think about what she had to go through and what she had to do to be able to be focused, to overcome what she had to overcome, to do that and activate that passion that she had within herself to learn. An article read in the newspaper, she had a hunger to learn. My book is entitled, You Gotta Be Hungry. It's a different space. It's no time to waste time. Life ain't playing with us. This pandemic isn't. And so this widespread insanity that's going on right now, I don't know where you align with what you want to do in terms of your life and your goals and your dreams. But I say what Dr. Miles Monroe said, live full, die empty, keep social distancing, do the things you need to do to stay alive, listen to the scientists and not people who become internet scientists or Google scientists. Listen to the real scientists and make decisions that will keep you and your family safe. That's what's most important right now. And not just be consumed by the distractions that are going on. Life will always be full of distractions. Dimple said, if it ain't one thing, it's another. I said, if it ain't one thing, it's 12 others. And so during the adversities of where we are and what we are facing, you want to have some things that you're doing that will give you the tools, the mindset, the mental resolve to handle whatever life throws at you. Why, Les? Because whatever life throws at you, you have in you. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. You have in you to handle it. You have built-in greatness. You have built-in power, authority, and dominion to handle whatever life throws at you. And life is going to be throwing a lot of stuff. Nobody's going to be spared. That's why Viktor Frankl called it unavoidable suffering. But suffering is a choice. You have a choice because you can suffer or you can choose to do whatever you need to do to liberate yourself, whatever you need to do to reinvent yourself, whatever you need to do to get the help that you need to overcome whatever you are stuck in right now. It does not have to be your residency. And finding peace, make that a priority. People talk about goals and dreams. You know how many people have achieved their goals of earning a lot of money, of becoming celebrities in a miserable? Look here, I've lived that life. And it's important to get still and find out what is it I need to do to find some peace in the midst of all the stuff that's going on. And take care of you. Stuff's happening to people all around you. Take care of you. It makes sense what Iyanla said. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. This is a time to be selfish. Did he say that? Yes. You can give so much you deplete yourself. I had to learn to give to me. I had to look at my life and all the things that I was looking at, all the things that I allowed to create stress in my life, they did not belong to me. They didn't belong to me. I took them off. And I made a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. I don't want this anymore. No. I'm getting this off me. Because life has no duplicate. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to live a happy, healthy, prosperous life. And you can't be happy and you can't live a prosperous life and a successful life if you allow yourself to be burdened with other people's things. Give to yourself until your cup runneth over, and then give to others from the overflow. And I had to learn to do that. I had to look, because sometimes you can be so busy taking care of other people's business and you realize, wait a minute, this is not my stuff. Why did I take this on? And let me serve notice to you. The people that have been using you, they're going to get angry because they want you to be distracted and do what they want you to do and do the work that they're supposed to be doing. See, here's what I know. When people get sick and tired of being sick and tired, they'll do something about their situation. That's what I know. During even this place where we're, just imagine, it makes a powerful statement about what's going on right now. Kanye West had a stadium, 20,000 people per set, paid for a listening party. During the pandemic, people showed up, crowded, some with masks, some without masks, to listen. Woo! 40,000. Let me tell you something. If we had an announcement saying, if you have goals and dreams, we're going to have an event, and all it will cost you is $97 or $100, same money you gave Kanye for him to walk across the stage with a stocking cap over his face to listen to music. Now you can listen to something that can change your life. The same group of people, will they show up? No. In 7 different languages. No. Whoa. Jesus said, all power is in my hands. Oh, by the way, the poor will always be among you. Wow. Remember what Reverend I said? The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. And sometimes we get so caught up emotionally. And what I realize, and what's important, is you can't help people who won't help themselves, because your help will be temporary. Everything that you do must be sustained. That's why Frederick Douglass said, now I understood what he said. Why help a man stand to his feet if he doesn't have enough gumption to lock his knees, if he does not have the consciousness and responsibility to lock his knees? When you let him go, his head is going to hit the pavement. I can't tell you the number of people I got jobs when I was a state legislator, and they lost a job. They got paid on Friday and wouldn't show up on Monday. Have you ever helped somebody and they did nothing with it? Did absolutely nothing with it. I'm overcoming being a slow learner. Have one of my granddaughters. I poured into her and all that I did. She said, thank you. Did she say thank you? I don't remember. But let's say, I'll give a benefit of the doubt. Thank you, Grandpa. Place I took out of, she went right back. The school that I paid for, the degree that I helped her to get, not even using it, doing something else. All that time, all that energy, all that work that I put in. Look, I'm 77. They should be given to me. See, your children should do more than what you've done. I did more than what Mamie Brown did, or Dorothy Bell, my birth mother. Your children are to earn more money than you, because they stand on your shoulders and what you have done with your life and what they do with their lives, they should go further. That has not happened in this generation. One of my kids told me, I asked him for some ideas. Oh, I'm not going to give you no ideas because you don't listen to your children. Duh, I don't listen to broke people. Look here. No, are you kidding me? You need to be listening to me. Oh, you need to be listening to me. And one of my kids said, oh, you act like your kids. Oh, you said, no. I'm just exploring how we can do some things together. Okay, that's fine. I am so glad that I have my health, that I'm in my right mind, that I'm taking responsibility to stay in good health so that I'm not depending upon somebody to wipe my behind. I'm gonna be in good shape. So if they start having some flashback, you remember when you beat me for nothing? Excuse me? Well, I told you I didn't do that. And they start looking at me crazy. And I'm laid up somewhere and can't get up and run. I said, you know what? I thought about it when somebody asked you, you get older, who's gonna wipe your behind? You wanna push back that time. You want to take care of yourself. I got up, I started doing some yoga and qigong, and I've been doing all kind of exercise up in here because my goal is not to be a burden to anybody. We can't help getting older, but we don't have to get old. Life ain't playing with us. Old man time is not playing. Going up the steps and I heard this click in my right knee. I said, oh my goodness, what is that? That knee said, I'm 77. That's what that is. I'm 77. When you get 77, I begin to crack. Oh my goodness. So take your time, buddy. I ain't playing with you. And ladies and gentlemen, some of you can hear me. The majority don't even want to hear it. Go on someplace else. Good. Let me share something with you. Take life seriously. Life has no duplicate. Decide as you look at your life, as you determine what is it that the next greatest version of myself, what does that look like? What is it I need to do? We have an expiration date. We can push it behind us if we want to. We can push it out of our minds and think we have forever to deal with other stuff and say to old man time, hey, listen, wait just a minute. Les Brown's got some stuff he's dealing with his children or his grandchildren or his baby mama drama and all kind of other stuff. Just wait just a minute and then we'll start the clock again. No. You got to be present in mind. You have to monitor and manage the priorities in your life. Guess what number one is? Your state of mind, having peace of mind, having your health. If you don't have your health, you can do nothing. It's cute to say, oh, your health is your wealth. Absolutely. But we run past that. Having the discipline, having a routine, having a strategy that says, I want to be here. One of the goals I have, that I wake up every day to get off the medication they put me on. The Cancer Centers of America. At no time, any of these doctors I've seen, whether it's at Cleveland Clinic or Cancer Centers of America, anywhere I've been, saying, look here, here's a strategy. These are the pills that we prescribe for you, but here's a strategy that can help you get off these pills. Has anybody told you how to get off the pills, Les? No. Are you upset about that? No. Why? Because I know the pills pay the bills. This is a partnership. And I'm the lead partner. And I do my research. And I'm going to do what I need to do. In spite of them injecting me with steroids, this is not my destiny. No. I'm getting off this. I'm losing this weight. No, I'm reversing this type 2 diabetes. I'm gonna fight. So I'm not popping pills all night. And I asked them questions. Is this addictive? Oh, yes. Oh, don't give me that. Guess what they did? They put it in prescription. So when I went to Walgreens, I asked the question, here's what I'm here for. And I asked them, that particular pill that you just mentioned, is it addictive? They said, yes. I don't want that. You can keep that. Give me the other ones. Look at those. Are they addictive? Any of those addictive? No? Fantastic. Yeah, I'm Marcus Welby. I'm playing doctor myself. I know what it is to be addicted to pills. Oh, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. I ain't playing with you. Life ain't playing with us. You have something special. You have greatness in you. I know that with everything in me, when I was sitting on the porch in Gainesville, Georgia, at the house that my mother built with a saw and a hammer, and I look at the work that she has done, that I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. I remember when I almost drowned. I just remembered this morning at a pool at Dixie Park in Miami. And how did you get saved? Because the lifeguard didn't see me. I was swallowing a lot of water and I was kicking and radical movement, and my foot went into an opening on the side of the wall of a pool where there was not a light. And I pushed myself up and screamed, and the lifeguard jumped in and saved me. Of all the places in that pool, at one place where I was, there was an opening where there was a light bulb that had burnt out. From that day to this day, I have never seen a pool that had an opening where a light bulb was supposed to be in there, and it wasn't. God made the arrangement. He knew in advance one of my children would be in there. Somebody will push him in the pool, and when he started kicking, trying to get some help, his foot is going to land in that blessing, that opening that he created for me. What openings has God created for you that you have not recognized, that you take for granted? You think you're here because you're so smart, Les Brown? No, I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. And I can't help it. I'm here for him. He's spared me so many times. I've had 2 guns drawn on me, and one guy pulled the trigger and it got stuck, and it didn't go off. I'm here. I was at a red light that changed, and I heard this voice said, "Don't move," and somebody ran the light. I'm here because of God's grace and mercy. My message to you, we're here for God. I'm not a religious person. We're here for God. Life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. I'm coming for you right now. And I don't want you to be so distracted about everything that's going on right now. No. You have greatness in you. You have built-in greatness. You are made in the likeness and image of God. No, don't buy into this foolishness. You are born and said, you are made in the likeness and image of God. Sin means, in the Aramaic language, falling short of the mark. You are made in the likeness and image of God. You have built-in greatness. You have authority and dominion and the power in you to handle whatever life throws in your direction. You got it like that. And what's important is to know that your life has meaning. What's important is to know that you're on a mission. What's important is to live life with a sense of urgency. What's important? That we have a limited time of being here. What's important? That we must keep it moving. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Do what you can do, and God will do what you can't do. Bless, I've done everything I can. Good, ask for some help. Not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And ask for help, and don't stop until you get it. You're no wimp, you're no punk. No. You're made in the likeness and image of God. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. You have built-in power at any moment to take your life in a different direction. All of us have defining moments. I remember when I was fired from radio, I thought that was all that I can do. I was good at that. Well, that was all that I worked on. I had more in me. Helen Keller said, when one door closes, another door opens, but most of us spend so much time being depressed, being angry about the closed door, we don't see the open door. If you've lost a job, you haven't lost a job. If a job has been removed from your life, guess why? They had to make room for you to become an entrepreneur, for you to learn how to sit in front of a computer and learn something now that you don't know. You now have to live your life in such a way that you want to learn something today that you didn't know yesterday. If you're not willing to learn, nobody can help you. But if you're willing to learn, you can help yourself. No one can stop you. People are doing it every day, making money left and right. More millionaires are being created during the pandemic. And after the pandemic, the money has not left the planet. Just the people who are hungry. People that are hungry are focused. People who are hungry are looking for ways to win in spite of the adversities. People that are hungry refuse to give up. People that are hungry operate under the philosophy of life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Got comeback power, as Willie Jolly would say. I ain't playing with you, I'm coming for you. Because our children are watching us. They're watching us. And many of them are not looking at good role models. That's why the suicide rate among young girls, 12 to 17, has increased 51%. Are you kidding me? People dying to get here, and people living here committing suicide. Come on now. People get here, can't speak the language, have a 3 to 4 greater chance of buying a home and having their own business than people who've been here. People who can't speak the language have a 4-time greater chance of owning their own home and creating their own business. There's something wrong with that. Why? Because we've gotten comfortable. That's why Brian Tracy said, your comfort zone is your danger zone. They don't come here to watch Netflix or any other kind of flick or a listening party. No, they're hungry. And you must be hungry too for a better life. You must be hungry too to say, no, this is not going to get the best of me. Sometimes in life, you have to put your foot down. Where you say, no. When I heard the rats in the house where I moved my mother out of, and they were playing bid whist and talking to each other. Then they're talking about, you know what? I'm so glad Mamie back, I don't know what to do. I'd be glad when she baked one of those sweet potato pies. I'm listening to them. Are they talking about my mama? Boy, that Mamie, she can bake a sweet potato pie. I'm telling you. They're talking about my mama. The rats in the wall. And they have imported roaches in Miami from Atlanta. Roaches that's so big they fly like pigeons and eagles. And roaches where you spray them and they snatch the black flag out of your hand and start spraying you. But here's the kicker. I saw a roach the other day. I got some black flag and start spraying him. And guess what he did? He snatched it out of my hand, but he also had something else in the other hand. I'm looking, it was some Lysol. He sprayed me with the Lysol before he sprayed me with the black flag. He didn't want me to infect him with the virus. That ain't right. Oh my God. They talk about a shortage of chicken wings. Why can't we have a shortage of flying roaches here? They talk about a shortage of chickens. Are you kidding me? Let me, my medication wearing off. Let me leave this with you. You're listening to me because you and I are cut from the same cloth. We're branches of the same tree. You have something special. You have greatness in you. God had a lot of choices. You and I, we were created out of 400 million spirit. We were chosen. God had a lot of choices. For us to be here at this point in time, we were made for this point in time in history. A reckoning is going on. All hands on deck. Evil prevails when good men and women do nothing. All hands on deck. There are three kinds of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who don't know what happened. You are here to make things happen. Life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. What gift are you creating? What are you doing? We need you. We need you to be, as Sandra Brown would say, from trust up. We need you to be visible. We need you to be vocal. We need you to be engaged in this thing called life. Our children need you. Our children's children need you. Good man and woman leaves a legacy for their children and their children's children. But we don't want to just leave a legacy. A legacy is how you will be remembered. We want to build a dynasty, as my son John Leslie would say. A dynasty is something that as you build it, you won't be forgotten. Wow. As Tolo would say. If you can feel me, if you know what I'm talking about, that you realize that this is a different space, and that if we're going to make it in and out of the pandemic, we must bring a different kind of energy, a different kind of commitment, passion, and drive to create a life that we can be proud of. Life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. Yeah. This thing called life. What a mighty God we serve. Angels stand before him. Heaven and earth adore him. What a mighty God we serve. I hope you've enjoyed what I've shared as I was rocking in a rocking chair on this porch in this house that my mother built. I bet she never thought about one day the son that she had in Miami, Florida, with his twin brother, will find his way to Gainesville, Georgia, and he will sit on this bench with the brother that he did not know he had, George Rucker, as he listened to stories about me from his brother that he did not know he had. And he would be moved and inspired by the work that I did when he walked through the house and saw the newspaper clippings about my accomplishments. He found me, and my mother, his grandmother. Look at God. Let me share something with you. Don't give up. There's a reason that Paul said, pray unceasingly. Don't give up. The prayers will fortify you. Don't give up. Keep moving. Don't give up. Do as Mary McLeod Bethune would say, pray as if everything depends upon God. But work as if everything depends upon you. There's a destiny in you. There's a greater calling in you. There's a work for you to do. That's why you were chosen for this time in history. History is being read, but it's also being written by people like you. That's why you're listening to me. I guarantee you, nobody who went to a listening party are listening to me. I'm an old fuddy-duddy, old Uncle Tom. He ain't listening to me. No. But you are, because you and I are cut from the same cloth. You are, because we're branches of the same tree. You are, because what's in me is in you.
Les Brown is in the house, the School of Greatness, my friend, who has been around for 75 years young, who you told me just before we got on here. You've been fighting cancer for 27 years. You've been widely known as one of the most inspirational, motivational speakers in the world, helping Fortune 500 companies to small business owners to everyone in between really tap into their greatness. You're an inspiration to myself and so many people. And you've got a book called You've Got to Be Hungry that's out right now that is doing incredibly well, and it's 20 years in the making. And I'm curious, we've been talking just before this, which we'll add in the interview, about racial injustice, which you've been a big proponent of speaking out against for many years, and your time working in Ohio, in government, and your time working in radio, as a speaker, as all these different areas of your life. But you've just been through a lot personally of challenges in your life. From, we have a similar story of growing up dyslexic, with learning disabilities, with challenges in school. I remember the story you shared in our last interview in 2017 about, teachers just calling you dumb and things like this. I feel very connected to that story because of my experiences in school. And yet you've overcome so many challenges in your 75 young years. Can you share the biggest challenge you've had to overcome?
The biggest challenge I had to overcome, and it's a continuous challenge, is allowing myself to see myself beyond my circumstances and mental conditioning, to live out of my imagination rather than my history. When you are raised in a culture that constantly demean you, marginalize you, and stifle your potential to move forward. I remember reading a quote by a guy named Richard Wright, who said, "The impulse to dream has been slowly beaten out of me through the experiences of life." So just imagine, in 1963, when I graduated from high school, now that's a long time ago. my grandson said, "Grandpa, how old are you?" And I said, 75. He said, "You are old." In 1963, here's what the statistics were in 1963. That if you're an African American, you're the last hired and the first fired. If you're an African American, that a white college-trained black person has less of a chance of getting a job than a white high school dropout. That's in 1963. Wow. According to the Federal Reserve, that still exists. So just imagine when an African American graduates from college and in debt, that a white high school dropout today will earn more money, 3 times more money than that black college graduate. 3 times more, all right? Why? Because of his paint job. I'll never forget, Louis, I saw an interview with Larry King, and this white supremacist was being interviewed, and he said, tell me, why do you hate black people? He said, because they're black. So, and he said, and? He said, and I'm white. So Larry said, what did you have to do with that? And this white supremacist said, what? He said, what did you have to do with your being born white? And he didn't have an answer. He just got quiet. And Larry, in that question, that strategic question, it created an aha moment, hopefully, for that young man. I saw this video yesterday. This lady said, I've got grandchildren. I hate y'all, and I'm teaching my grandchildren to hate you too.
Wow.
Yes, and I'll never forget when I was on a bus coming back from Miami Beach with my mother, and they had signs on Miami Beach that said, Jews, dogs, and coloreds not allowed. And so I asked my mother, I said, Mama, why do they hate us so much? And she said, Leslie, I don't know, but don't you ever be like them. Don't you ever be like them. God is love, and he who dwelleth in love dwelleth in God, and God in them. You love people regardless of how they treat you. That grabbed me, because when she could have very easily, because of experiences that she'd had, it taught me to be hateful, because hatred is taught. It's people not born with that. And a little boy asked me, a second grader, what do you mean by you gotta be hungry? I said, the greatness within to win. I said, when the average person start out in life, don't realize the odds are stacked against them. And you have got to call on everything in you to get ahead. I said, how old are you? He said, 7. I said, when I was 5 years old, I was downtown Miami, and it was like 95 degrees. And I ran to a water fountain. I was with my mother. The neighbor said, Mamie, we can watch the other 6, but you're gonna have to take Leslie with you because he's a little touched in the head. So they didn't want to keep me. So I let my mother's dress go. We went downtown with her. We would hold her dress because she would walk real fast. And I ran up to this water fountain, Louis, and I started drinking water from it. And my mother said, don't you ever do that again. Grabbed me by the neck. And I talk about this in the book. And she started punching me in the face and the head. And I was shocked. I said, Mama, she had this crazed look in her eyes. I said, it's me, it's me, Mama. And all of a sudden, a white police officer came by and he said, okay, he had a billy club in his hand. You can stop beating that little boy now. I won't have to beat him. And he looked at me as I was crying and just laughed.
Wow.
As he walked away. And my mother, she grabbed me and I was crying and she said, Leslie, I'm so sorry. But when I saw the redness in his face and how he had his billy club out and he was coming to beat you with it, she said, I had to do something to distract him. She said, because had he hit you with that billy club, he would have had to kill me. And I'd left you and your brothers and sisters to fend for yourselves. You have no relatives. And at that moment, 5, I knew that there was 2 worlds. I was in a world where I was limited, where what water fountain I could drink from. When we got on the bus, there would be seats up front, and there would be a yellow line, and there were standing room in the back where black people were seated. And Mama would say, keep moving. I said, Mama, there are seats up here. Did you hear me say, keep moving, keep moving? So when you are in that kind of environment where you are judged based upon nothing other than the color of your skin, That's very humiliating. I had another experience that that really tilted the scale for me being the person that I am. And because I love my mother, I'm a mama's boy. I always say this is the Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. and so I was determined that I was going to create a world that my mother could live in and not be humiliated and to not be held back, and a better life than she had lived in Stuart, Florida, and what I experienced coming up in Miami, being African American. There were so many things. It was just a part of the culture, things that exist now. But to believe and understand that it's going on now, it's surprising. But what is heartwarming is the broad scale support. Something that Benjamin Franklin said. He said, change will never come about until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are.
Wow.
Okay? And so you have white people who are unaffected by this, but they're outraged. They're saying, hey, this is not right. And they're putting themselves in harm's way. I saw one white lady, they shot her with rubber bullets and she lost an eye. She's permanently blind in one eye. And so there have been places where the white turnout and other groups are very strong, of people out of a sense of humanity saying this is not America. And it's been sustained because the people can see it. And to see George Floyd have his life taken away. The guy who did that, one of the guys who was right there near him, where he could have said to the cop that was on George Floyd, come on, man, come on. He said he can't breathe. Come on, it's four of us. He's handcuffed. He can't get away from us. Come on, get your knee off his neck. He didn't do this. So this lady saw one of the guys in the grocery store who was charged with complicity. And she said, do you have any regrets? He said, no.
Wow.
No. So therefore, he thought it was okay to take this guy's life for a $20 counterfeit bill that they found not to be counterfeit. So to lose your life and someone say, when you are asked, do you have any regrets? And you say, no. Man, let me tell you something, that's heavy. That says a lot.
Yeah. Do you feel like we haven't really progressed that much at all? Or is there progress?
No, I think there's been great progress. There's no question about that. No question. You just have people who, this is for the first time under this leadership that we have, feel comfortable coming out. So there are people that this level of hatred has been instilled and passed on generation after generation after generation. What makes it seem so pervasive and so dominant has been the exposure. It's never been exposed like this. The internet, that's why North Korea and various dictatorships don't allow media to have the right to expose things, the inequities and the unlawful behavior in their country, including our country. Had it not been for the internet, we would not know about this, because the television executives had a meeting after the Rodney King riots and say, when something like this happens again, we will not show it. Wow. We will just report it. Okay, but the internet, because of the telephones, now these cops have been getting away with murder. They can't just get away with it. Although even when they go to court, 93.9% get off, never go to court. And of those who are indicted, maybe around 2% are sentenced and found guilty, because the judge and the prosecuting attorney is on the side of that officer. So
Well, I feel like they can always
odds
make
are-
it. They can always make a case, I guess, for, well, he was attacking me, and this is in the law on how we can defend ourselves as police, right?
When they asked the cops, why did you beat this guy that I said, this man served our country in Vietnam. He should not be treated like that. He was holding a baby. And they said he was fighting with one hand. And okay, come on. When I was on the air, and this is in the 80s, I editorialized against police brutality and deadly use of force. They said he had a threatening stance, so I shot him. One guy I'll never forget. He was in the car, and police approached the car, and they shot him 5 times. And they said he held his hand up, even though he didn't see a gun, but he moved his finger, and he thought that he had a gun, and so they killed him, and they got off with it. So they come up with any type of flimsy excuse. I thought my life was in danger, like the guy here in Atlanta was shot 5 times in the back, and they said they thought he was going to turn around and shoot with a taser. And the truth of the matter is that cop was mad because his taser was taken away from him. So he pumped 5 bullets in him. So no, there will not be a trial here. This is taking place now. And so that level of madness and lack of value for human life, it's deep in the culture. But
How did you personally? Yeah, and how did you personally overcome so much from racism as a young child when your mother essentially had to beat the crap out of you in order to defend you from the police beating you up even more, to not being able to sit anywhere on the bus that you wanted to go on, to just having the challenges in school, to your career? How did you personally learn the skills to overcome so many challenges in the world, in your internal mind and world, and in life? The title of the book, You've Got to Be Hungry, the greatness within to win. Greatness comes out of adversity. And the defining moment for me was when my mother was working for a lady named Miss Harris. I was responsible for cleaning some spots off the floor. My mother was called by Miss Harris. She said, Mamie, I want you to go in another room and find a hat that I'm looking for, the one I had 3 Sundays ago. And when my mother went in that room, I heard a slapping sound. I heard my mother clapping her hands. And I said, Mama, I was curious. I said, why are you clapping your hands? She said, don't you worry, Leslie. You just keep on doing what you're doing and get those spots up off the floor. Then she came out of the room and she said, Miss Harris, I don't see it in there. So she said, well, go in this other room. And Mama went in the other room, and sure enough, she started clapping her hands again. And I said, Mama. She said, what? She was aggravated now. I said, why are you clapping your hands? She said, didn't I tell you to do what you're supposed to do? But at that moment, Ms. Harris came over and she stood over me. She said, I can tell you why she's clapping her hands. And I stood up and I looked in the eyes. Now, during this time, as a Black person, you were not allowed to look white people in the eyes. You should always look down, okay? Or you could be arrested or beaten. So I looked her in the eyes, and she said, the reason that I have your mother clapping her hands, when I have colored people working for me, and I can't see them when they go in another room, I make them clap their hands to make sure they're not stealing. Oh my goodness.
I said, ma'am, I said, Miss Harris, let me tell you something. My mother does not steal. When she talk about you and your family, she say, I work for Miss Harris, and she talk about our children, and she knows all your children's names and their birthday. My mother is an honest person. She'll never steal from you or anybody. And she was so shocked that she just looked at me and she just turned and walked out of the room. And when I got back down on that floor, Lewis, and started scrubbing that floor, I said, nobody will never make my mother clap her hands again, because they think that she's will be stealing. I remember going back on the bus and I was quiet. And she said, Leslie, why are you so quiet? I said, because I'm not a man. I want to be a man. She said, you'll be a man soon enough. You're 10 years old. How long before I become a man? 8 years. I want to become a man now. She said, why? I said, if I was a man now, Mama, I can buy groceries for us. Listen, Mama, and we won't have to wait till the people you work for eat and then give us leftovers. If I was a man now, I would not have to wait until somebody's worn clothes for a year and we wear their hand-me-down clothes. And if I was a man now, nobody will ever make you clap your hands because they think that you're stealing. She said, Miss Harris told you that, didn't she? I said, yes, ma'am. That's why I want to be a man now. And she just got quiet. She said, Leslie, don't worry about it. Just be a good boy. Be a good boy. And I said, I will, Mama, but I'm going to take care of you. You'll never have to work again when I turn 18. When I turned 18, I took care of my mother until she passed at 89. She never paid another bill. I worked. Yeah, that tilted the scales.
That experience, that moment.
Yes, that to make her, she was such a wonderful person, only had a third grade education. And I always say I'm on programs, I said, because of two women. One gave me life, the other one gave me love. God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. So she was quite a woman. Yes, she was. I'm a mama's boy, as you can detect.
Yeah.